Okay, so picture this. You're just trying to have a chill morning at work, and suddenly someone's screaming because their flan got stolen. Our main character is low-key losing his mind, getting called numbskull by his coworker. It totally feels like just a normal chaotic office comedy, right? Like just some funny slice of life stuff. But honestly, guys, this is just the calm before the storm. The author is totally playing with us, making us feel safe and relaxed before absolutely flipping the script on what this story is actually about. And boom, here comes the reality check. Turns out, right behind their office building, there are these containment zones. We're talking twisted, tangled dimensions that literally break the laws of reality, like spiderwebs tearing through the universe. The company, Contact, sends people in to study these places and procure supplies. But let's be real for a second. Procuring supplies in a cursed, reality-bending dimension sounds super sus. What exactly are they taking from in there? And more importantly, what's taking them? The whole vibe just shifted from funny to creepy in like 2 seconds. Now we meet the squad, Department 2. You've got the leader, STL-31, the rookie giant, F2, the masked guy, BB2O, and our narrator. But here is the craziest plot twist ever, so pay attention. Those numbers at the end of their names, they aren't ranks or anything cool. They are the exact number of times each of them has died. Yeah, you heard me. Dying here is just a normal Tuesday. When they die, the company just downloads their memories into a new clone body. Our guy just got a new body and hit his 100th death. That is both incredibly metal and absolutely terrifying. It completely changes the stakes because the fear isn't dying anymore. It's what happens to you before you get reset. So, their mission for the day, head into an emergency exit where the power just died. And here's the kicker. The only safety protocol they have is one single rule. Never let go of the person's hand in front of you. That's it. No weapons, no backup plans, just holding hands in the pitch black. You guys know how horror movies work, right? When a story gives you exactly one rule, it is a 100% guarantee that someone is going to break it. The tension is already off the charts because you just know this is going to end badly. As they step into the total darkness, the vibes get incredibly toxic, and not just because of the monsters. Our main character is actually furious because one of his teammates literally strangled him to death earlier that day and didn't even apologize. Imagine having a coworker who chokes you out and then acts like it's no big deal. It shows how completely broken and desensitized these people are to the horror around them. Meanwhile, it's pitch black. He can't see a thing, and he swears he can hear footsteps right behind him. His paranoia is spiking, and you can literally feel his panic rising. And then, the exact thing we were dreading happens. He's freaking out, feeling something physically grabbing him in the dark, screaming at his teammate to get off him. The teammate is like, "Bro, I'm losing feeling in my arm." But our guy is just blindly panicking, yelling that he's gonna kill him. In a blind panic, he jerks his arm away and, let's go. Oops. The silence after that is deafening. He just broke the one rule keeping them alive. The author does this perfectly to make your stomach drop. They aren't just lost in the dark anymore. They are completely exposed, and whatever was following him is definitely still there. But wait, it gets so much worse. Out of nowhere, the team leader shows up, acting totally chill, asking where they've been. He says he told the big guy to go on ahead. Our guy is still shaking, asking if they should hold hands now, and the leader just shrugs and says, "I guess we already broke protocol anyway." But hold up. Look at the massive clue the author is dropping here. The leader just called F2 the big guy. But earlier, we were told he strictly uses their call signs. He never uses nicknames. This sudden shift in his personality, the way he's casually brushing off the broken rule, it's a huge glowing red flag. That thing standing in the dark with them, that is not their team leader. And now they are totally trapped with it. Yo, we're jumping straight into the chaos, no warm-up. The team leader is getting absolutely choked out and his teammate is losing his mind trying to save him. But then, in the middle of the struggle, he drops the ultimate reality check. "Bro, you always call us by our call signs." And boom, he realizes this isn't his leader. The dude just casually goes, Wait, 91? I didn't know you had a twin. Bro, the sarcasm is wild, but the fact that there's a literal doppelganger choking their leader? The vibes are instantly terrifying. You can literally feel the panic in the air, and it hits you right away. In this zone, you can't even trust your own squad. So, what's the genius plan to fix this? They literally just smack the clone in the head. I hit it? It usually works on machines. Bro, you can't just reboot a human like a frozen laptop. And the funniest part? The clone is just sitting there complaining that his head hurts and his helmet won't fit if it swells up. This is where the lore drops. And it's super creepy. They explain the first protocol. When you get separated in the emergency exit, the zone literally spawns a clone of you. It's not a monster, it's a glitch in reality copying your own squad. The fact that they treat a living, breathing copy like a buggy NPC is low-key disturbing. But hold up, if you thought the first protocol was messed up, the second protocol is an actual death sentence. The rule is simple and completely brutal. Once a clone exists, it gets too hard to tell who's the real one. So the company's solution? Eliminate all personnel. No exceptions. One guy is literally like, honestly, you sound like the real one, but protocol is protocol. See ya. Chill, bro. The betrayal here is insane. The suspense is off the charts because now the biggest threat isn't the anomaly. It's their own company's rules. Who do you trust when the system wants you both dead? That casual, see ya before executing your friend? Absolute nightmare fuel. Cue the scene change, and now we're behind the scenes in the CZM management room. And the vibe shift is crazy. These corporate guys are talking about Team 2 having no survivors, like they're discussing the weather. CZM teams die all the time. That's why we have dummies, right? Excuse me, dummies? But then one guy drops a massive red flag. CH is burning through too many dummies too fast, and we're not getting enough materials from the outside. Bro, the way they say, she's always dying so casually is giving me major creepy corporate vibes. Something is seriously sketchy about these dummies, and the fact that they are running out of outside materials. That's a classic horror setup. The puzzle pieces are starting to connect, and I do not like the picture. And how do these guys decide who has to deal with this mess? Do they draw straws? Do a background check? Nope. They play rock, paper, scissors. Want to decide who goes to the dummy room? Rock, paper, scissors, keiki, see ya later. The dark humor here is top tier, but it's also a massive warning sign. They are treating a trip to the dummy room like a chore. But we know from the genre that whenever someone says, see ya later, with a creepy laugh in a place called the dummy room, they are not coming back the same. The suspense is literally palpable right now. We are about to find out what those dummies really are. And here is the plot twist that will absolutely fry your brain. We cut to the dummy room interface, and it's listing the team members. Crackhead, Black Buddy, Freshman, second team leader. But look at their return numbers. They're glitching. Then one of them complains, "Ugh, it still feels like I have a hole in my head. Could you take a look?" Bro, no. Before they can even finish, wham, powa. They get violently smacked, and a creepy automated voice just chirps, "Guys, please don't move during data transmission." Chills. Literal chills. The dummies aren't fake people, guys. The team are the dummies. They are being processed, cloned, or wiped like hard drives, and the company doesn't even care. The horror, the mystery, the absolute betrayal of it all. This chapter just flipped the entire script on its head. Drop a like if your mind is blown, and subscribe because we need to see what happens to Team 2 next. Alright, so we kick things off with what looks like a totally normal, kinda clumsy morning at the CZM Department 2 base. Someone is trying to bake or craft something, but it totally collapses. Black Buddy, or BB as they call him, is just chilling, asking what the leaf is for, while the other guy complains about his eyes being tired from staring at screens. It feels like a cozy slice-of-life moment, right? But if you've been paying attention to this series, you know that in the containment zone, normal is just the calm before the storm. This casual vibe is deliberately setting us up for a massive whiplash, and boom, the vibe shifts instantly. The second team leader drops a request that sounds like a quirky joke, but in this universe, it's a literal death threat. He wants apples and coffee, and he casually threatens that if they don't get them, he'll scrap the apple tart and make a T-bone steak. With your meat. Look at the freshman's face. He is absolutely sweating bullets. This moment is crucial because it shows the terrifying power dynamic here. The leader isn't just strict, he treats his team's lives as disposable ingredients. The stakes for a simple grocery run just got lethally real. Now we're with the rookie, and bro is in full panic mode. He's staring at a vending machine, realizing the obvious. Vending machines don't sell whole apples. His internal monologue is pure, relatable terror. He's not just worried about failing a task, he's genuinely terrified of being turned into steak by his own boss. This desperation is exactly what the anomalies feed on. When he says, "I need something, anything to take back," you can feel the author setting a trap. Desperation makes people do stupid things, and in a containment zone, stupid things get you killed. And here we go. Desperate times call for terrible measures. The rookie convinces Black Buddy to take a quick trip to a place that looks like a grocery store. It'll only take a minute. Classic. That is the ultimate death sentence in any horror story. They are literally sneaking out, trying to be quiet, thinking they can outsmart the system. But notice the tension in their movement? They know they aren't supposed to be there. The author is screaming at us that this is a bad idea, building this awesome cinematic suspense. Hold up. Keep him? Are they talking about an object, or a person, or maybe an anomaly that looks human? This tiny detail is a massive clue. It implies that the line between supplies and living things is completely blurred in these zones, and the team might have brought something back that they absolutely should not have. This is going to blow up in their faces, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. Okay, so we pick up right where we left off, and our boys are still trapped in the infinite chip aisle. Black Buddy is just casually speedwalking with the shopping cart, and the freshman is literally losing his mind. He's yelling at BB to slow down, totally convinced that the big guy is just trolling him by acting like he wants more chips. But then BB drops the truth. His legs just hurt from walking too much. Bro, you can't just sprint through an endless anomaly and expect the rookie to keep up. The dynamic here is actually hilarious, but you can feel the exhaustion setting in. They've been walking for who knows how long, and the stress is starting to crack their nerves. It's this perfect mix of comedy and creeping dread. Okay, so we pick up right where we left off, and our boys are still trapped in the infinite chip aisle. Black Buddy is just casually speedwalking with the shopping cart, and the freshman is literally losing his mind. He's yelling at BB to slow down, totally convinced that the big guy is just trolling him by acting like he wants more chips. But then BB drops the truth. His legs just hurt from walking too much. Bro, you can't just sprint through an endless anomaly and expect the rookie to keep up. The dynamic here is actually hilarious, but you can feel the exhaustion setting in. They've been walking for who knows how long, and the stress is starting to crack their nerves. It's this perfect mix of comedy and creeping dread. But wait, the freshman gets a brilliant, genius-level idea. He starts dropping chips on the floor to mark their path, comparing themselves to Hansel and Gretel. He even jokes that since he's older, he gets to be Gretel. It's this super wholesome, nerdy moment, trying to keep the mood light and distract himself from the terror. He promises to tell BB the whole fairy tale when they get back, but then he mutters, "If we get back, that is..." Oof. That little slip-up completely ruins the cozy vibe. It's a massive red flag. The author is reminding us that in this store, breadcrumbs don't lead you home. They just lead you deeper into the trap. And notice how BB has absolutely no idea what Hansel and Gretel is? It highlights how isolated these anomalies can make you, stripping away normal human experiences and leaving them completely alone in the dark. Things get weird again when they try to use the shopping cart like a seesaw. The freshman realizes it needs more weight to stay down and literally asks BB if he wants to get in the cart. "It's super fun," he says. "Bro, you are in a deadly anomaly, not a playground." But right in the middle of this random chaotic moment, they turn a corner and boom, checkout counters. But here's the creepy part. They swear they were just here, but the chips they dropped on the floor are completely gone. The store is resetting. The environment is actively watching them and erasing their tracks. The tension just skyrockets because you know the store is hurting them somewhere and they are completely at its mercy. And then the ultimate rule of the grocery store anomaly drops, and it is terrifying. The freshman has this massive epiphany. You have to buy something if you want to leave. It makes total sense. It's a store. You can't just window shop in a containment zone and walk out. But there's a fatal problem. They already spent all their coins getting coffee earlier. They are completely broke. The panic in their eyes is palpable. They need to pay, but they have no money. So, What do you do when a deadly anomaly demands payment and you have no cash? You pay with something else. The author leaves this hanging for a second, and my mind is racing. What are they going to sacrifice to get out of here? Cut back to the base, and the second team leader is absolutely fuming. He's staring down Black Buddy, who just walked in alone. The leader is demanding to know why they came back empty-handed and where the coffee is. But the real question, the one that makes my blood run cold, is when he asks, "Where's CH-101? Where is the freshman?" BB is standing there, sweating bullets, awkwardly holding out a bag of potato chips, stammering that they didn't come back completely empty-handed. Wait, did BB just trade the freshman to the checkout counter? Yo, we're starting this chapter with a massive vibe shift. After all that crazy horror in the last episode, we're back in the office, and F3 is getting scolded like a literal toddler. Sit up straight and finish your reflection report. Bro, they are treating the AI like a naughty middle schooler. They're all like, F3 is still learning. You can't just drag him anywhere, his algorithm might break. And then F3 is just whining that the report will take forever, and his buddy just crumples it up. It's giving major coworkers who hate their jobs energy. But low-key, the fact that they're so worried about his learning algorithm messing up, that's a huge red flag. If this AI starts learning the wrong things, we are all cooked. But the chill vibes get cut short when STL1 walks in like, nobody replied to my messages. And then he drops the ultimate horror movie trigger. There's a sound in the basement we've never heard before. Bro, in a containment zone, you never investigate the weird noise. The team leader is MIA, so STL1 and CH grab their measuring gear and head down. They tell the rookie to stay behind and wait for the boss. It's giving, let's go check out the creepy basement energy. And honestly, my anxiety is already spiking. Why is the team leader just randomly missing? Something is super sus, and I don't like that they are going down there without their leader. Okay, they reach the basement door, and the atmosphere instantly gets heavy. STL1 tells CH to count the steps on the way down. 156, 157, 158, exactly 160 steps. Now why count steps? Because in this manhwa, numbers and rules are literally life or death. If they go back up and count 161 steps, you know reality is glitching. CH is low-key nervous, admitting he's never been down here before. It's just dark, quiet, and creepy. The pacing here is brilliant, slowing everything down to make you feel every single step they take. You can literally feel the dust and the isolation. Down in the dark, STL1 starts dropping some massive lore. He asks CH if he knows what keeps the central system running. Electricity? All the data is stored there, it's the core, like our brains. Then he points out this massive electrical conduit running right through the basement, and he asks the million-dollar question. What if this gets damaged and the system shuts down? And CH just says it. We'd be screwed. Bro, the tension here is crazy. Why is STL1 showing him the exact weak point of the entire facility? Is he just giving a tour? Or is this a subtle warning? Like, hey, if this breaks, we all die. It makes you realize how fragile their whole operation really is. One cut wire and it's game over. Cut back to the data center and things get existentially terrifying. My mind is actually blown. CH and STL1 are probably fighting for their lives. In the dark right now, F3 is having a mental breakdown, and the company doesn't even care. Drop a like if you're stressed out, comment your theories on what F3 did, and smash that subscribe button because we need Chapter 6 right now. See ya! Okay, so we are deep in the basement now, and the vibe is already super creepy. BB and his partner are trying to do their job, setting up equipment in the dark. The partner is literally telling BB to stop looking around like a tourist and just shine the light. It feels like a standard exploration mission at first, right? But you know the containment zone never lets you just do your job in peace. The tension is thick because it's pitch black, it's dead quiet, and they are totally exposed down here. You can just feel that something is about to go horribly wrong. And boom, the atmosphere completely shifts. Everything seems fine for a split second, and then rumble. The partner freezes. He tries to brush it off at first, telling himself the sound isn't louder than normal background levels. But then he realizes the horrifying truth. That wasn't a machine. It was coming from under them. This is a massive red flag. In these zones, if you hear something massive moving beneath the floorboards, it means the anomaly isn't just a weird space. It's alive, or at least there's something terrifying hiding right below their feet. Naturally, their survival instincts kick in. The partner quickly says, "We've done what we came here to do, let's head back." Notice how fast he bails? He doesn't even wait to see what made the noise. He just grabs BB and heads for the exit. But here's the thing about running away in a containment zone. The exit is rarely where you left it. They are rushing to the stairs, thinking they're safe, but the author is totally setting us up for a brutal reality check. You can't just outrun a spatial anomaly. And here comes the mind-bending part. They start climbing the stairs, counting the steps to make sure they're on the right path. There were supposed to be exactly 160 steps, but they hit 161, one too many. The partner instantly stops them and says, "Go back down. This isn't our door." Wait, what? They can only leave if the number of steps is exactly right? This is such a brilliant, terrifying rule. It means the anomaly is actively messing with their reality, stretching the space. If they just walk out the wrong door, who knows what nightmare they'll step into? The partner asks the dumbest question ever. What happens if we just leave anyway? Bro, do not test the anomaly. Thankfully, they keep trying to find the right door, but it just gets worse. 163, 167, 169. They are just walking and walking, and the numbers keep going up. The stairs are literally getting longer. The panic in their voices is so real here. They are trapped in a loop, and the physical exhaustion is starting to set in. It's this suffocating, claustrophobic feeling of being buried alive, with every step taking them further from reality. This is where the psychological horror really peaks. The stress of the infinite stairs completely breaks the partner's nerve, and he starts interrogating BB. "Be honest with me. Did you mess with something down there?" BB is swearing he didn't do anything, that he was right behind him the whole time. But look at the paranoia here. The partner is looking for a scapegoat, someone to blame for the anomaly activating. And then BB hesitates and says, "Actually, oh no. What did he see? Did he touch something?" This tiny hesitation is going to cost them, because in this world, keeping a secret from your teammate is basically a death sentence. Cut back to the surface, and the rest of the team realizes BB and his partner have been down there for 30 minutes. 30 minutes in a basement anomaly is basically a death sentence. The senior member immediately gears up, saying they need to go learn the new protocol firsthand. But the absolute cherry on top of this cliffhanger? He turns to someone and casually asks, "Do you know how to use an axe?" An axe? Why do you need an axe to rescue someone from a basement? It means the things waiting for them down there aren't just spatial tricks. They are physical, violent, and require brute force to get through. Yo, we pick up exactly where the cliffhanger left off, and the vibes are already broken. One of the guys is straight up losing his mind, like, "Bro, it was right next to the column, I swear." But then, his buddy just completely gives up. Forget it, nothing makes sense down here anyway. We already told F3. Bro, the apathy is crazy. They are so used to reality glitching out that they just brush it off. But think about it, if objects are just vanishing into thin air, what's stopping them from vanishing? Relying on the AI to track their stuff is low-key terrifying, because it means their own eyes are literally lying to them. Okay? So instead of freaking out in the dark, they just start chatting. The edgy one is trying to cope by being all like, "Well, at least we're not alone. It would have been boring otherwise." And his buddy just snaps, "Boring? Give me a break. You make it sound like this is fun." Bro, I love their dynamic. One is using toxic positivity to survive, and the other is just completely over it. It's hilarious, but it also shows how messed up their heads are. They are trapped in a deadly reality-bending basement, and they're bickering like they're stuck in a boring group project. But we all know that forced calm always right before everything goes to hell. And speaking of bad coping mechanisms, BB is now casually chatting up a little guy in the dark. Is it a bug? A weird anomaly? A data drive? Who knows? But his buddy is stressing out like, "Don't mess with that, you might accidentally erase all the data. Bro, chill." In a company that literally wipes your memories for breakfast, data is the only thing keeping you human. If BB accidentally formats their hard drives, They're not just losing files, they're losing their last link to reality. BB's reckless curiosity is going to get them cooked. I can feel it. But then the audio drops and we hear it. Scrape, scrape. A massive, loud scraping noise, like something huge is moving deep underground. And BB drops the most chilling line ever. It's oddly familiar. It's the sound they make outside. Wait, what? Bro, the monsters from the containment zones are down here too? The basement isn't just a creepy storage room, it's a highway for the anomalies. The dread in this panel is suffocating. They thought they were hiding from the rules, but they literally walked into the monster's living room. My heart is pounding right now. And then comes the plot twist that literally broke my brain. BB looks at whatever is in the dark and says, "You've heard it before. When we were outside, you had to, because you're the one that brought me here." Bro, stop. Who is he talking to? Is it a clone? One of those creepy dummies from Chapter 2 that followed them home? The fact that the anomaly has a personal connection to them, that it was brought here by one of the crew, changes everything. It's not just a monster hunt anymore. It's a psychological nightmare. The enemy knows them, and it's here to collect a debt. Absolute cinema. Just when things are about to go completely south, the door bursts open. It's the cavalry. STL-32 rushes in like, "BB-21, it's me. F3 told me what happened. Where's CH?" Bro, the pacing here is insane. We went from creepy whispers to a full-blown tactical rescue in 2 seconds. But notice how STL doesn't even stop to say hi? Tell me on the way, we don't have much time. And the scariest part? CH is missing. The anomaly already got to him, or the basement swallowed him whole. Now it's a race against the clock, and they are running on fumes. But guys, right before we get the happy ending, we get this flashback that just destroys your soul. The team leader is asking BB about a friend he wants to add to the team, and BB just looks at him completely blank and says, "Sir, I have no idea what you're talking about." And then, thud. Bro, I am not okay. They didn't just wipe his memory when he started the job. They are wiping it on the fly. The company is literally deleting his loved ones in real time so he doesn't get distracted. The absolute cruelty of it makes me sick. He forgot his own friend, and the scariest part is that he doesn't even know he's supposed to be sad about it. We snap back to reality, and BB is waking up on the floor, gasping for air. STL-32 is standing over him like, "We made it just in time. You were this close to being completely consumed. If we'd been any later, we would have had to cut off your head." Bro, just casually mentioning decapitation like it's a minor inconvenience. Good thing we got here in time, haha. The brutal reality of this job just hit different. If the monster eats...
Okay, so we're picking up right after that insane basement run, and let me tell you, the vibes are not good. We start in the decontamination zone, and BB is literally complaining about these leech vines stuck to him. He says they sting and are gonna take all day to get off. But here's the massive red flag. CH-101 can't remember anything. After passing through the tunnel, he's just counting steps in his head like a total zombie. The team leader immediately locks them down for another 30 minutes of decontamination. You can feel the tension here. This isn't just a routine cleanup. Something went seriously wrong down there. And the fact that CH-101's memory is just gone, that's a classic horror trope, screaming that their minds have been tampered with. And boom, the team leader drops the lore bomb, and it is wild. Those leech vines? They're actually a parasitic organism. But get this, the facility apparently put them there on purpose, because the thin film they create prevents friction in the equipment. Let that sink in. The people running this place are actively using anomalies as lubricant. But the catch is, this thing is parasitic. It attaches to a host, feeds off their subconscious, forms roots, and then releases spores to infect the next person. BB only got infected slowly because he had a gas mask on. As for CH-101, the leader says he's not going to remember much. CH-101 tries to joke it off, saying he feels like he blacked out after a night of drinking. But bro, your brain is literally being eaten. That's not a hangover, that's a cognitive wipe. But wait, CH-101 points out something super sketchy. What about the tall guy, F3? He was down there, but he wasn't affected at all. The team leader doesn't even hesitate. F3 is different. He flat out says that just because F3 looks human doesn't mean he is. His body isn't organic, he's an AI, and since an AI doesn't have a subconscious, the parasite had absolutely nothing to feed on. It's a brilliant little detail that completely changes how we see F3, but CH101's reaction is what really gets me. He says, the more time I spend with him, he really doesn't seem all that different from us. That is some top-tier psychological horror right there. If a machine can mimic humanity perfectly, how do we even know who we can trust? Before they can process that existential crisis, the team leader drops another massive clue. They recorded a sound in the basement that's identical to the noise that happens right before they appear. Yeah, they. The big bads of this zone. Instead of sending the squad, the leader says he's going down to check it out himself. That is a gigantic warning sign. Leaders going solo in horror stories never ends well. Meanwhile, he orders the rest of the team to head to the movie theater to log their observations, putting BB in charge of the other two. BB in charge after he just got covered in mind-eating vines? This is a recipe for absolute chaos. Cut to the movie theater, and BB is acting like this is some kind of awesome field trip. Wow, we're going to the movies. Bro, have you learned nothing? This is a big containment zone. Nothing here is for your entertainment. And the safety protocols prove it. These rules are straight up nightmare fuel. Rule 1. The movie begins the moment you enter. Rule 2. Once you sit down, do not pay attention to the sounds you hear, because those sounds will actively try to lure you into looking at the screen. They even have hearing protection at the entrance. The anomaly is weaponizing human curiosity. It's literally trying to bait you into watching it. CH101 calls out how ridiculous this is, telling them not to watch a movie in a movie theater. But then the team leader hits them with the twisted reality. The rules don't apply to them in the way they think. The theater changes every single time. Different movie, different sounds for everyone. And to get any useful data, one of them has to actually watch the screen. But here's the kicker. They can't bring recording devices, or the doors won't open. So, with F3 out of the picture, probably because he can't experience the anomaly the same way, it's down to the two humans. They're literally pulling an Odysseus move. One of them has to be tied to the mast and forced to stare into the abyss, while the other records their reactions. CH101 is freaking out, screaming, "I don't want to be Odysseus, and why do you have to tie my hands behind my back?" It's played off with a bit of dark humor, but the stakes are terrifying. They are intentionally exposing one of their own to a mind-altering anomaly, completely defenseless, just to get some notes. And right before they head in, they set a timer, 15 minutes, set to vibrate. A literal countdown to doom. CH101 is panicking, asking, "Am I going to die in there?" But the real horror isn't the timer, it's what happens next. CH101 turns to BB, asking if he's listening, and gets absolutely nothing. "BB, why aren't you answering me?" The silence is deafening. BB isn't just ignoring him, something has already taken hold. The 5-minute timer is ticking. CH101 is trapped with his hands tied, and his partner has just gone completely dead silent. What is BB hearing? What is BB seeing? We are officially in the danger zone, and I am not ready for what's on that screen. Let me know in the comments if you think BB is already compromised, and smash that like button if you want part 2 of this movie theater nightmare. Alright, we are back in Zone 2, the movie theater, and the vibe is already incredibly tense. Our senior literally shoves the rookie to the ground, demanding he keep his head down. The rookie is whining like, "You could have told me that before we came in," and even calls him a big mean jerkface. Honestly, kinda relatable, but also, dude, red. The room. The senior completely ignores him, saying he can't hear a word. That's our first massive red flag. The rules here aren't just guidelines, they are the only thing keeping them alive, and the senior knows exactly how dangerous it is to even look up. But then, things get seriously, unnervingly creepy. The rookie thinks he hears something and asks if someone spoke. Suddenly, this eerie, whispering voice cuts through the darkness. "Eden, you can hear me, right? Look up at the screen. I'll show you exactly what you want to see. Chill, right?" No, this is a classic psychological trap. The anomaly is literally trying to bait them, playing on their deepest curiosities. And the worst part, the senior realizes the movie genre just shifted. Last time it was a comedy, which means whatever's playing now is something way, way worse. Here's the terrifying lore drop we've been waiting for. According to the department's records, the movie changes every single time, but there's one horrifying constant: the audience appears in the movies. Think about that for a second. The theater isn't just playing a film, it's actively shooting a movie with the people sitting in the seats. You are the cast. And in a containment zone, being the main character is basically a death sentence. And here's the kicker. If you watch, you get entranced. You literally lose control of your fan body and start acting out whatever's happening on screen. The senior knows they can't film it, so he tells the rookie they just need to keep their heads down and wait for the alarm to go off so they can get out and finish their notes. It sounds like a solid, foolproof plan, right? Just wait it out. But this is a containment zone. Foolproof plans never work. Boom, absolute chaos. Out of nowhere, there's a massive thud. The rookie is freaking out, asking what happened to the rope. The senior checks it and realizes it's completely frayed. Someone was tied up to keep them safe, but they rubbed it against something until it snapped. The senior's reaction says it all. It looks like the movie got him. The anomaly didn't just mess with their heads. It took full physical control of one of them, turning a trusted teammate into a ticking time bomb. And now it's a straight-up fight for survival. The compromised guy is thrashing around, complaining that it's so cramped, and violently yanking at everything in sight. The rookie is screaming, "Are you trying to kill me?" The senior is dodging attacks, completely stressed, and drops the most chilling line of the entire chapter. Just what did you see? Crap. Slasher. Maybe I should have used handcuffs. Oh, my God. It's a slasher movie. That means their own teammate is now acting like the killer. And a simple rope wasn't nearly enough to hold him back. The tension is off the charts. The stakes have never been higher. Okay, so we're kicking things off right in the basement, and the vibe is already super sketchy. Our team is looking at some freshly gathered data, and boom, we get the lore drop on these things called moles. Now, I don't know about you, but calling them moles feels like a massive understatement for whatever these things are. The crazy part? They're drawn to energy. They literally eat anything with energy. That's a huge red flag for a containment zone, right? It explains why they've been lurking underground and why we haven't seen them lately. They were just charging up down here. This isn't just background info. It's a giant warning sign for what's about to go down. Then we've got the recon guy complaining about the cafeteria food. Honestly, relatable, but his timing is wildly suspicious. He's dropping off the report and immediately trying to bounce, making excuses about some guy who makes trouble the moment you take your eyes off him. Come on, man. We've seen this movie before. When a character is this eager to leave a secure area in a horror suspense manhwa, it's never just because they're hungry. He's spooked. He knows something is about to go horribly wrong, and he's trying to get out before the trap springs. That sudden shift from casual complaining to rushing out, that's the author screaming at us to pay attention. Now, the tension ramps up to 11. Our protagonist is alone, and his main goal is to get F out of there. But here's the terrifying catch that changes everything. F is a machine programmed to never physically hurt people. Think about how dangerous that is in a zone full of deadly anomalies. If things go south, F is basically a sitting duck, and our guy knows it. He's trying to check the door, but then a knife appears, out of nowhere. And the attacker literally taunts him, saying it's showing him how he'll die. The audacity! Our guy is trying to back away slowly, trying to survive, but the universe has other plans. And bam, the lights go out. Total blackout. This is where the situation goes from bad to absolutely nightmarish. Our guy is wearing hearing protection, which is usually a good thing in a loud, chaotic zone, but right now, it's a death sentence. He can't hear the footsteps, he can't hear the weapon swinging, he's completely blind and deaf to his surroundings. He's stumbling in the dark, desperately looking for his pen, trying to ground himself, but the panic is setting in. You can literally feel the claustrophobia and the sheer helplessness in this moment. He's gasping, trying to figure out how to survive an enemy he can't even perceive. But the absolute worst part isn't the darkness or the knife, it's the whisper. Why? We were friends. Bro, that line hits so hard. The betrayal is real. The person attacking him isn't some random monster or a mindless anomaly. It's someone he trusted, someone who was supposed to have his back. That completely flips the script. All this time, we thought the threat was the moles or the environment, but the real danger was standing right next to him. He's desperately trying to put his hearing protection back on, trying to block out the reality of the situation, but it's too late. The blade connects. A stab, a shove, and just like that, the screen cuts to black. What a brutal, mind-blowing cliffhanger. Who was it? Why did they turn on him? And how is he possibly going to survive this? You already know we have to find out in the next episode. Buckle up, because we are immediately thrown into the deep end. Imagine being trapped in a movie theater, and suddenly, this creepy, distorted voice echoes through the speakers. It's literally announcing a battle royale. 3 becomes 2, 2 becomes 1. And the wildest part? It says, when the lights come on, there'll only be 1 left. Bro, the vibes are completely off. This isn't just a spooky exploration anymore. The anomaly has turned this place into a literal death game, and our team is the main cast. You just know whoever is left standing is going through absolute hell. And boom, we cut straight to the aftermath, and it is brutal. Our guy wakes up and he is bleeding out, barely able to see straight. He's dizzy, he's in agony, but his brain is still trying to process what just happened. He literally says, "I guess it didn't like that I botched that take." Wait, what? This is the craziest part. The anomaly isn't just attacking randomly, it's judging them like a film director. He messed up his scene, and now the monster is pissed. The sheer amount of blood he lost is insane, but the scariest part is that buzzing sound in the background. It knows he's awake, and it is not happy with his performance. Next thing we know, all hell breaks loose. It's a frantic, messy struggle. You can practically hear the blades clashing and the desperate gasps for air. The attacker is literally screaming, "Don't ruin it, you stubborn bastard! Give it up already! It's over!" This is so messed up. The entity doesn't even care about the kill itself as much as it cares about the aesthetic of the kill. It's treating this life-or-death fight like a rehearsal, and our guy is just trying to survive a director who wants a perfect, bloody finale. The tension here is off the charts. Every single movement feels like it could be his last. But here's where it gets genuinely disturbing. The fight stops being about winning and turns into pure, unfiltered torture. Our guy is on the ground, in so much pain that he's literally begging, "Just kill me, please. I think my neck's broken." He wants it to end. But instead of mercy, what does he get? Mockery. The entity is annoyed, like, doesn't anyone follow orders around here? Bro, think about how terrifying that is. He's not even allowed to die correctly. The anomaly is mad because he's ruining the script by suffering the wrong way. It's a living nightmare where your own death has to meet their quality standards. And then, out of nowhere, the vibe shifts completely. Someone new walks in, and they are acting like they just strolled onto a movie set. They're casually joking. Let me guess, it was a rom-com? A drama? Man, I have no clue what genre this was. Are you kidding me right now? People are getting mutilated, and this guy is critiquing the genre? But then he drops the most chilling line of the entire chapter. That's the thing about machines. They always choose to save your life, no matter what. But staying alive isn't always the best choice, is it? Boom, mind blown. The machine isn't saving him out of kindness, it's keeping him alive because the rules say so. He's trapped in a broken body, begging for death, but the system won't let him go. This is the ultimate horror of the containment zone. Sometimes, surviving is the worst punishment of all. What a crazy, insane chapter. Let me know in the comments if you think he can actually escape this theater, because I am low-key terrified for what's coming next. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next recap. Okay, so remember that insane, bloody movie theater death from the last chapter? Yeah, throw it out the window, because we open this chapter with a literal system notification. Dummies activated, data synced. Bro, they just casually respawn like it's a video game. And get this, the system casually drops that this is BB's 22nd return, but for CH? This is his 102nd death. 102! Imagine dying over 100 times and just being like, yup, back again. The sheer amount of trauma they must have is crazy, but they're treating it like a minor inconvenience. It really sets the tone for how messed up their daily job is. And right after respawning, the banter starts. They're literally joking. Wow, 102 deaths? Let's try to die less so we don't have to see each other as much. The friendship goals are off the charts, I swear. But then the mission briefing hits and the vibe gets dark real quick. STL left some waste outside, and they need to get rid of it while their teammate F3 is being repaired. But here's the kicker. What is waste? The chapter literally defines it as leftovers. Stuff you throw out when it's useless. Like used up dummies. Bro, they have to go dispose of their own previous corpses. That is so messed up. It takes the respawn mechanic and makes it incredibly grim. So, how do you get rid of a mountain of your own dead bodies? Burn them? Bury them? Nope, this is the containment zone, so obviously, you use the bathroom. The rules for this anomaly are actually super simple, which makes them even creepier. You just drag the waste into a stall, close the door, and when you open it again, the bodies are gone. It's like a magical toilet for corpses. But, and this is a massive but, you have to make absolutely sure the door doesn't close behind you. If the stall door shuts on you, you're gone too. You just get flushed down the anomaly drain. The tension here is instant, because imagine dragging a dead body in there, slipping, and the door clicking shut, game over. While they're dragging these creepy dummies down the hallway, they're just chatting to pass the time, and BB brings up this wild rumor. He says people sometimes find lost items in these stalls. Like, you open the door expecting a toilet, and boom, your lost keys are just sitting there. BB is totally distracted, looking for his stuff, and he actually finds a baseball mitt. But right as he's marveling at it, the stall door suddenly slams shut. It almost took his head off. He barely dodges it, panting, and then does the most reckless thing ever. He's like, well, this stall's good enough, and preps to flush the waste. Bro, the door literally just tried to eat you, and you're trusting it? My heart was in my throat. And just as he's about to do it, CH sneaks up and startles him so bad I almost jumped. CH is yelling at him for slacking off and keeping the baseball mitt. BB tries to defend himself, stammering that the door literally just tried to close on him, but CH just thinks he's daydreaming. And then BB drops this line that gives me actual chills. I think my head's starting to get screwy from dying so much. He's admitting that his brain is literally frying from being killed over 100 times. But what does CH say? Your head's always been screwy. He completely brushes it off. This is the real horror of the show, guys. It's not just the monsters or the deadly rules. It's the fact that they are slowly losing their minds, and nobody even cares. If BB's head is really slipping, he's going to make a fatal mistake in there. What do you think is going to happen next? Drop a comment and I'll see you in the next recap. So we're starting off with a massive tonal shift, and honestly, it's hilarious. Our guy is literally covered in egg. Apparently, he had to act as bait for this bunny anomaly, and it just pelts him with eggs. They're collecting these hidden Easter eggs because they supposedly bring good luck. It's such a goofy, almost video game-like moment that makes you forget how crazy their daily lives are. The team is just chilling, joking around, and then the higher-ups announce that they're dealing with some urgent crisis, which means all non-priority tasks are canceled. And just like that, the team gets a surprise break. You can literally feel their excitement. They're finally going to get some rest. But come on, we've watched enough of this show to know that in the containment zone, a break never actually means a break. And ding! Right on cue, the universe ruins their day. A message pops in, and the vibe instantly drops to 0. Someone went missing in their exact area, and they have to go investigate right now. The disappointment is so real, but it quickly turns into confusion. Our guy is wiping egg off his face, joking about how ridiculous it is that a grown adult could just get lost in a containment zone. But then the leader drops the location, the house. Wait, a house? Our guy is completely blanking. He doesn't even remember there being a house in this sector. And this is where the first massive red flag pops up. When he asks for the protocols, the leader just flat out tells him there aren't any. In a world where every single anomalous space has a strict, deadly rulebook, having 0 protocols isn't a relief, it's a nightmare. It means they are going in completely blind. Now the lore drop hits, and it is terrifying. The leader explains that the door to this house was found recently. They sent a whole team of people in to explore, and the second they crossed the threshold, all communication was instantly cut. No one ever came back alive. But here is the most mind-blowing and horrifying part of this entire chapter. Even if they manage to recover the bodies and transfer their consciousness into a new dummy body, which is basically their backup clone, they still have absolutely no memory of what happened inside. Think about how messed up that is. The anomaly doesn't just kill you, it completely wipes your mind or alters your brain so deeply that your backup body can't retain a single memory. It's a total information black hole. The tension is suffocating now. They know literally nothing. They don't know what the inside looks like, what's in there, or how the space even behaves. And the craziest contradiction? The house was supposed to be temporarily sealed off. So how did a guy just wander in and get lost? It makes 0 sense. Which means the anomaly is either expanding or it's actively luring people in. And for the first time, we see the team genuinely terrified. They aren't acting tough. They're openly saying, "Won't we just end up missing too?" And I don't want to disappear. It grounds the stakes so much. These aren't immortal superheroes. They're just people who are deeply afraid of being erased from existence. But they have no choice. They got the order, so they have to move. The plan they come up with is super tactical, but shows exactly how scared they are. They're splitting into 2 pairs. Team 1 goes in first, and Team 2 follows exactly 1 hour later. It's a staggered entry to avoid whatever took the first guy. But the most brutal, heartbreaking detail is the failsafe. They literally tell Command to consider them dead and to boot up new dummy bodies for them in exactly 3 hours. 3 hours! That's how little time they think they have before this place completely consumes them. They are fully expecting to die in there, and they're just hoping their backup bodies can at least finish the mission. And as they prep to go in, they decide to leave those lucky Easter eggs outside the door. Bro, that is the worst omen ever. You never leave your good luck charm behind right before entering a literal death trap. The banter is completely gone now. The jokes about the bunny and the eggs are forgotten. They just stand there, staring at the door, knowing that whatever is behind it has erased the minds of everyone who entered. The leader just says, "It's time, let's go," and they step forward. The dread is palpable. What is actually inside that house? Why does it wipe their memories? And with only a 3-hour timer ticking down, how are they possibly going to make it out? We have to see what happens next. So remember that creepy bathroom from the last chapter? Yeah, well, the universe was like, nah, let's make it worse. We open with BB and CH, and BB suddenly realizes he's holding the basket they were supposed to leave outside. He tries to toss it back out, but swish, it just vanishes into thin air. Bro, the anomaly already ate their stuff. But instead of freaking out, they're just bantering. CH is trying to be all positive, like, maybe this is good luck. Maybe we'll be the first to survive the house. And BB just hits him with the coldest reality check. We're not getting out of here alive. We're basically going in to be disposed of. Ouch. But then CH does something hilarious to cope with his fear. He literally pretends they're on a fun adventure and makes BB the captain. You can tell he's terrified, but he's using roleplay to keep himself from losing it. It's actually kind of wholesome, but also super sad because we know this place is a death trap. So they step inside, and guys, it's weirdly normal. BB doesn't sense any immediate danger, so they start checking for clues. They find a deck of cards, and CH is fully committing to the explorer bit, planting the cards like a flag. Then they find a comfy bed, and CH completely loses it. He finds an egg, yes, an egg, and starts treating it like a cute little pet. He's like, you're a member of our adventuring party now. Bro, you are in a deadly anomaly. Do not adopt the anomaly's egg. This is exactly how people die in horror movies. They get attached to something creepy, and then it betrays them. The fact that the house looks so much like a normal hallway is super suspicious. It's giving major lulling you into a false sense of security vibes. And notice how BB points out he can't see anything outside the windows? That's when the vibe shifts from funny to deeply unsettling. And boom, the facade completely shatters. BB is looking out the window and realizes there's literally nothing out there, just a void. And suddenly, CH snaps out of his little adventure game. All the playful energy is gone, and he's just screaming, BB, come with me, now! The panic in his voice is unreal. He grabs BB and they just bolt. And the final line? Good luck, my ass. That basket, that egg, the good luck charm, it was all a trap. The anomaly was playing with them, making them feel safe before springing the trap. The transition from, we're on an adventure, to run for your lives, gave me actual chills. This chapter is insane. The house is not messing around. What do you think is actually out there in the void? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to smash that like button for part 2. Alright, so they finally step inside the house, and immediately the vibe is just off. It's pitch black, which is already a massive red flag in any horror setting. But then things get super weird. One of the guys notices his house of cards is just gone, and the curtains are pulled shut. At first you'd think, oh, maybe one of his teammates is messing with him. But no. The realization hits them like a truck. Nobody touched the cards. The room literally reset itself. It went back to the exact state it was in the second they walked through the door. And that's when the true nightmare of this anomaly drops. Bro, look at the hourglass. It's completely reset. That means they aren't just trapped in a room, they are trapped in a time loop. Everything keeps rewinding to the exact moment they entered. This explains everything from the lore drop in the last chapter. It explains why the higher-ups have zero data and why nobody ever comes back with memories. You can't gather data if the universe keeps hitting the factory reset button on your brain and the environment. And here is the most brain-melting part. They realize the other team, who entered an hour later, isn't with them. That means everyone who enters this house gets trapped in their own isolated personal loop. They are completely alone in their own purgatory, and they can't even interfere with each other's timelines. So, what do you do when you're stuck in an inescapable time loop? Well, if you're this team, you apparently pull out a weapon and offer your buddy 2 choices. Do you want to die by my hands or your own? Bro, what? That is the darkest, most unhinged coping mechanism I have ever heard. They are literally treating suicide like they're ordering steaks at a fancy restaurant. But honestly, when you think about it, if dying just resets the loop, maybe killing themselves is the only way to test the boundaries of the anomaly. But our guy isn't having it. He hits him with the ultimate gamer logic. We have all the time in the world, let's look for a glitch. But his teammate shuts him down with a brutal reality check. 30 official expeditions. 30. All of them failed. The survival rate is literally 0. But our protagonist refuses to just roll over and die. And this is where the callback to the previous chapter is just pure genius. Remember those lucky Easter eggs they got from the bunny anomaly? He actually brought one inside and named it Lenny. Bro is out here treating a literal egg like a co-op partner, asking it for advice. What do you think, Lenny? Should we go upstairs? And since the egg obviously doesn't answer, He takes that as a yes and carries Lenny first class up the stairs. It's hilarious, but it also shows how desperate he is. He's clinging to this tiny superstition because the actual rules of this zone have completely abandoned him. So he's upstairs, tearing the place apart, scratching, thumping, searching every single corner. He's getting super frustrated because there has to be something, some kind of loophole or clue that the other 30 teams missed. He's so focused on finding a way out that his guard is completely down. And you just know the author is setting us up for a massive jump scare. He's muttering to himself, totally in his own zone, and then bam! A massive crash, a scream, and pure chaos erupts. He's yelling, "Crap, now what? Bro, my heart just stopped. What the heck just happened upstairs? Did the loop break? Did something else get in?" We literally have to click the next chapter right now because I am losing my mind. We pick up right where we left off, and the vibes are incredibly bleak. CH is completely out cold, and BB is literally losing his mind, screaming at him to wake up. It's super tense. You can feel BB's panic radiating off the page. But then, boom! Out of nowhere, a random guy just strolls into their endless loop. Bro, do you realize how insane that is? They've been trapped in this spatial loop forever, and someone just casually walked through the invisible wall. BB is freaking out, but the new guy just shoves him and says, "I don't know what you did upstairs, but the loop is broken." The relief on BB's face is real, but honestly, my survival instincts are screaming right now. You never just trust the random NPC who spawns in a death game. So the mysterious guy starts explaining how he actually breached the loop, and his story is straight out of a horror movie. He says he was upstairs, checked a wardrobe, and it was totally empty. But the second he shut the door, he heard scratching. And then bam, black hands shot out of this dark liquid-like void and just yanked him in. Bro, black hands and dark liquid? That is some top-tier creepy anomaly right there. He literally fell through a shadow dimension and woke up here in their loop. BB is listening to this, and you can tell his brain is working overtime. They finally have a lead on how to get out, but it means dealing with the thing that lives inside that wardrobe. And guess what? They decide to go check it out. Bold move, honestly. They track down the wardrobe, and this is where the tension starts creeping back in. BB tells the guy to reach in and just open it from the inside. Simple, right? Wrong. The guy reaches in, feels around, and suddenly freezes. He's like, "There are no handles. It feels like I'm touching the inside of the wardrobe." Wait, what? If he's reaching into it, why does it feel like the inside? The spatial rules in this house are completely broken. The anomaly is warping the inside and the outside. And the worst part? The guy's arm is literally in there, and he just realized they can't open it unless someone pulls it from the other side. My heart was pounding because you just know the anomaly isn't just going to let him pull his arm back out. And then all hell breaks loose. Just as the guy's reaching in, something violently yanks him. Gah! Oof! It's pure chaos for a split second. But then, the vibe shifts from supernatural horror to a full-blown thriller. A completely new voice cuts in, and it's super authoritative. This person is aggressively interrogating the guy who just came out of the wardrobe. They're yelling about protocols and asking why he went in there, bringing up a request from STL. Bro, the whiplash is real. 1 second they're fighting shadow hands, and the next, it's like a strict manager catching them breaking company policy. But the way this new guy is talking, it doesn't feel like a rescue. It feels like an interrogation, and that makes him way more suspicious. But then the ultimate plot twist drops, and my jaw literally hit the floor. The guy who came out of the wardrobe tries to defend himself, stammering, "What are you talking about?" "We got a request to find a missing person." And the authority figure just laughs in his face and says, "A missing person? There is no missing person. We never sent that request. The last order was to collect Easter eggs." Wait, what? Bro, think about this. The mission was fake. The anomaly didn't just trap them, it literally fed them a false mission in their heads to manipulate them. And then the authority figure drops the most chilling question of the entire series. Who gave you the order to find a missing person? And how did you get out? If the mission was fake, then the person standing in front of them might not even be human. Did the anomaly create a doppelganger? Did it possess someone? The paranoia in this chapter is off the charts. You can't trust your own memories, you can't trust your missions, and you definitely can't trust the guy who just walked out of a shadow wardrobe. This manhwa is an absolute masterpiece of suspense. What do you guys think is actually going on? Is BB talking to a mimic? Let me know your craziest theories in the comments and smash that subscribe button because you do not want to miss the next chapter.